approach a much larger population. Cities that have been perhaps growing outwards into suburbia have had a longer and longer commute, and it's become a breaking point where people are no longer actually able to make the commute and aren't willing to make the commute. And so we're seeing a change in the density of housing. So lower density housing is being replaced as developers are buying property after property, and councils trying to fix this problem, trying to find a solution to this problem, are allowing medium density housing to replace what used to be the average Australian white picket fence, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom home with a backyard. A quarter-acre block is being changed now to a much more dense living space, especially around those traffic corridors and around the kind of larger train stations, the Sutherlands and the Hurstville's, and areas where you're getting lots of different trains are coming in, and we're seeing more and more medium density housing as the city's changing, as Sydney is changing. And so we're seeing greater capacity required on the roads as more and more people are driving, and at the same time people are trying to alleviate this by moving into smaller houses, apartments, which they can afford because the housing has become incredibly expensive, and they're doing that near stations. And so as that happens, the needs and the desires of the populace are going to change as well. So we're going to end up seeing people wanting to eat out more often, and food places changing to the desires for good, clean, cheaper food, because people are not being able to entertain as much, or perhaps people are working longer hours and are needing to have food. So we've seen the advent of places like HelloFresh and Marley and Spoon and various other companies that are using this idea of both parents working long hours and people want to eat good, fresh, clean food, but don't have time to set a menu or don't have time to go and do all the shopping. So we're seeing the habits of people changing as their needs change as well. And all of this is wrapped up in the changing face of the city of Sydney as an example, as a case study. And you'll see that the people of Sydney are starting to change their habits, and the planners of Sydney are trying to catch up because they haven't actually planned for this. The long-term plans for transport infrastructure, for hospitals, for schools. Not enough schools have been built for the population, so schools are becoming a major issue as well, public schooling. So we're seeing a lag between public infrastructure and the planning of the city and the actual needs of the populace, because they've changed the way that they live due to the influx of people, due to increasing urbanisation, and due to temporary migration or rural to urban migration, as people are moving in, especially younger people moving in for education in universities, etc., and staying here for jobs in the long term.